It's a tale as old as time. Boy meets girl, girl falls for boy. Boy thinks it's his life mission to impregnate every female on the planet. The 90-Day franchise has had no shortage of odd couples over the years, but nothing has come close to what's going on between Kyle and Annie in the newest season of 90-Day Fiancé Love in Paradise. And guess what? Annie's already considering her getaway.
Drive!
And it's barely been a few days since her and Kyle's grand in-person rendezvous. Can't say we blame her, though. Kyle's a walking, talking tornado of drama.
Mamma mia.
Let's hit rewind for a hot minute. Their meeting wasn't your average fairy tale romance. Annie had initially reached out to Kyle with a straightforward request. She was thinking about having another child and needed a sperm donor. Unlike many women seeking Kyle's, unique services, Annie and Kyle discovered a deeper connection. Their late-night chats went beyond the typical donor-recipient relationship.
Got an appointment to banish a white Russian from my Kremlin?
And it blossomed into what they believed was a genuine romance. Yet, as their connection deepened, so did the chaos. You see, Kyle has been a sperm donor for some time now, which was fine, but turns out it's actually not that simple. We're dealing with a man-child whose idea of a hobby is playing Russian roulette with baby making. Natural insemination in Australia? Check. Donating sperm through bedroom antics? Double check. Yep, Kyle's willing to donate his swimmers in whatever manner the requesting ladies would like.
That's just nasty.
And just when we thought he might hang up his gloves, Kyle drops the bombshell that he's still at it and will continue this job even while he's dating Annie. Annie, honey, we feel your disappointment here. We were all rooting for a fairy tale ending, but it looks like we stumbled into the drama den instead. Of course, Annie would feel weirded out by the fact that Kyle's got a personal collection of 71 offspring. Even Nick Cannon doesn't post numbers like that.
We're here to be fruitful and multiply. That's the purpose of life. Procreate.
And he's not slowing down anytime soon. But despite the controversial past Kyle has had, Annie still has hope in her heart. She's betting on Kyle to suddenly become Prince Charming. Sure, you're willing to give him another shot, praying he'll wake up and smell the roses. But let's be real here. Expecting consistency from a guy who treats commitment like a revolving door is a recipe for disaster. And the thing is, Kyle being extremely awkward and problematic in his interactions with Annie isn't helping anything either.
Okay, so did you have sex with someone in Australia to donate?
I don't know what I did there.
What? You just answer me now.
It's all out there for everyone to see, from his blissful ignorance of basic decency to his knack for turning every date into an episode of the most inappropriate moments. Just take the romantic date on a yacht incident, for example. Annie pulled out all the stops. She arranged a romantic nighttime cruise to spark a flame with Kyle, which she knew was there. Her mantra for the evening was to get cozy and not overthink.
We are going together on a yacht cruise and it would be such a romantic setting. I just want to feel relaxed and cozy with him and not to overthink.
Because nothing says romance like mental gymnastics, right? Of course, Annie was happy before the cruise even began, because that day, Kyle had finally listened to her and wrangled himself into an actual pair of pants instead of his regular boxer shorts. And he cleaned himself up nice, all right? This is the same guy who tried to justify wearing pajama shorts to his first date with Annie.
What are you wearing?
What? I'm wearing shorts.
That's disgusting.
I work down shorts, I'm sorry.
Gosh, that's just setting the bar too low, Annie. But that wasn't even the worst part. Kyle also has this tendency to keep touching himself in public. And let's just say it's in places you shouldn't be touching in public.
What you're doing always with your...
My balls, adjusting my,
Why you always touch them?
Because sitting down too much kills your sperm.
Now, maybe the guy likes to keep himself prepped for his next donation to the bank. But come on, man, that's not a spectator sport people want to see.
Oh, my eyes! My eyes!
As if that wasn't weird enough, things soon became even more surreal though. Just as Annie started dreaming about babies, the reality check hit hard. They hadn't even kissed yet. Talking about having kids was just way too off. Sure, the idea of a family vacation sounds like a dream, but let's pump the brakes for a bit.
Pump your brakes, kid. That man's a national treasure.
We've only just gotten Kyle to put on some pants. He's got a long way to go before we start hearing any wedding bells. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. How would Kyle even explain his sperm donating obsession to his child? Now, there have been some theories going around on this man's creepy interests, and it might have something to do with some deep-seated mommy issues.
Wow, someone obviously has some mommy issues.
But even if that was the case, can we really excuse his weird behavior towards Annie? Oh, and it gets weird, all right. Let's not forget their cringeworthy first date. And the love point system he has in place? Kyle apparently had put himself up as a self-appointed relationship referee, and he gives out points to Annie when she shows him affection the right way. Entitled much?
You need to earn my lovin'. You have to earn it. There's points. We do a point system.
No, we're not doing a point system.
We are definitely doing a point system.
On top of that, Kyle has shown up in the same clothes he traveled in. That's right, guys, no freshening up for this guy. While Annie didn't know about his lack of hygiene, she was not thrilled about him rocking shorts at a restaurant. Kyle's defense? This is what Americans do.
When we go in the restaurant, come in properly, like dressed up
but
for
we don't do that in America. We do whatever.
If you love me, you do it for me then.
Nice try, Kyle, but cultural excuses don't cover up laziness. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Kyle's dining habits take center stage, and we wish we were exaggerating.
I am shocked how Kyle is eating. He is slurping from the plate. He's on a first date.
Messy eating, slurping sounds, and the weird faces he was making were just plain disgusting. Imagine a stunning girl like Annie trying to make conversations with Kyle while he's practically wearing his dinner. The cherry on top, Kyle's complete obliviousness to how utterly off-putting his behavior was. Sure, eventually Annie realized she was willing to forget about the date because there was just something about Kyle that attracted her, and it looked like eventually Annie had earned enough points to secure her first kiss.
So you know how there's like points, right? You did good on the points. I was doing the math. You have 3 points.
So what do I get for 3 points then?
That is 1 kiss.
But Kyle even made that unexplainably uncomfortable. As the dude was gearing up for his very first kiss with Annie, it seemed like he was preparing for a high-stakes mission to Mars. Newsflash, it's not that hard. The play-by-play commentary is so painfully awkward, it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. And let's not forget his incessant need for verbal consent. Somebody please tell Kyle romance isn't a contractual agreement. It's supposed to be spontaneous. And dare we say it, enjoyable.
This is supposed to be fun!
Here's the saddest part, though. While the rest of us are cringing into oblivion, Annie's apparently willing to give Kyle another shot. She's fully bought into the "I can change him" fantasy, despite all evidence to the contrary. Kyle's attempts at reassurance are nothing short of awkwardly charming. But of course, above all else, what we can't ignore is the elephant in the room: Kyle's donation addiction. Comparing his compulsive need to impregnate women to a drug addiction might seem dramatic, but it's accurate in the worst ways.
I don't want my boyfriend to donate that, you know. Who are you? You're the savior of the world and you have to give all women babies?
There's a serious issue here that goes beyond just a quirky hobby. This behavior screams for deeper psychological analysis. Is it an addiction, a mental health issue, a bizarre form of validation? Whatever it is, it's clear Kyle's wiring is uniquely off-kilter. What's more troubling is Kyle's lack of self-awareness. He doesn't see anything wrong with his extracurricular activities, even though he's supposedly committed to Annie. This isn't just one red flag, it's a whole parade of them. His brain operates on a different wavelength, one that doesn't align with conventional relationship norms.
In some ways, I'm kind of like Superman, Clark Kent. You know, I got my day job, and at night I put on my cape and become like kind of like a superhero.
Yet, the fact that Annie's willing to see the light at the end of this very dark tunnel is baffling. Let's be real here. Kyle is light years away from being ready for a serious relationship. His actions practically scream selfishness, and his complete inability to explain his motivations is a glaring red flag. If he's so desperate to be a donor, there are plenty of ways to contribute to society without wrecking his relationship with Annie, don't you think? She's made it crystal clear that she wants more kids, so couldn't he channel his paternal instincts towards her instead of playing global sperm donor? Safe to say, Annie's frustration is spot on. Kyle's savior complex is spiraling out of control. He's convinced himself that his divine mission is to impregnate as many women as possible, and it's totally okay doing it the natural way too, while trying to maintain a relationship. Yeah, sure.
Yesterday, Kyle admitted that he still has been donating sperm through sex. I assumed that he was stopping because he fell in love with me, and I'm really disappointed.
When Annie does end up confronting him and yearns for a hint of commitment or at least some understanding, Kyle throws her another roadblock. It's like he doesn't even want to explain himself. All Annie has ever met with is the same old broken record of I don't knows.
I don't know what to
Because
say
you don't
right
want
now.
to stop donating.
I don't know what to say right now. I don't know how to respond to this. I don't know the answer right now.
It looks like poor Annie is stuck trying to make sense of a guy who thinks he's some kind of fertility superhero, when in reality, he's just dodging responsibility and a real connection. The emotional toll of this realization is palpable. Annie is starting to see the writing on the wall. Kyle is too messed up to offer her the relationship she deserves. The question now is, will she find the strength to walk away from this disaster in the making? One thing's for sure, if Kyle doesn't get his act together, he'll be left with nothing but a trail of broken hearts, shattered dreams, and 71 kids. So what are your thoughts on the future of Annie and Kyle's unconventional and, dare we say, disturbing love story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you think the Annie and Kyle story is cringeworthy, check out the crazy drama going on with this couple in this next video you need to watch.